Welcome to Global Africa Media and thank you for joining us once again. And remember, all eyes on you. Here is the latest news from Niger. France currently in talks with Niger officials over troops withdrawal. This sounds to me that France is throwing the white flag. They have started talks with some Niger army officials over withdrawing some troops from the African country following a coup in July. At this stage, neither the number of French soldiers involved nor the timing of their departure have been decided. However, it seems something is happening. The voices of the Niger protesters are getting too loud for France. Okay, listen to this latest report.
There are reports that France is in talks with Niger's army about the possible withdrawal of some of its troops. Well, thousands of protesters have been rallying outside the French military base in the capital Niamey. Niger's coup leaders have been urging France to withdraw 1,500 troops that are stationed there and has ordered the French ambassador to leave. Paris has refused, saying it doesn't recognise the junta's authority. Niger was plunged into turmoil in July when President Mohamed Bazoum was ousted in a coup.
The government has already denounced the agreements that allow France to be on our territory. They are in an illegal position, and I think the exchanges that are underway should very quickly enable these forces to withdraw from our country.
Ahmed Idris joins us live from outside the French base in Niamey. And what is the situation there at the moment? We know that protesters have been building over the last few days. What is it like there right now?
Right now, the streets are empty. We're right in front of the military base. To my left, if the camera pans to my left, you'll see the military base. Actually, it's a Nigerian military base, which also houses a camp for French forces. 1,000, an estimated 1,500 of them are in there. And this is what the protesters who've been gathering at this base over the past few days are demanding, that they should leave the country. And France so far has not moved any of them out of the country. Basically, it's also coming at a time when the ambassador of France to Niger has refused to leave the country. So basically, we've seen demonstrations, large crowds, previous days, especially over the weekend. But right now, what we're seeing is a disappointing crowd in terms of the numbers that we saw over the weekend. So we're not sure whether or not this protest is losing steam or that will be the end of it. Tom?
And Ahmed, the Prime Minister's been talking about a resolution with ECOWAS soon. What more can you tell us?
Well, the Prime Minister told a press conference yesterday where we were that very soon an agreement with ECOWAS will be reached. But he also took the opportunity to describe the sanctions and embargoes placed on Niger following the coup as unjust, inhumane and illegal, and that they have taken action to complain about this. He didn't say before which court, maybe the ECOWAS court or the international community or international tribunals like those of trade and all, but he said they have complained about the unjust nature of these sanctions, which basically are biting in this country. He also spoke a lot about relationship with France, and he said they demanded that France should leave the country. And apart from that, he also spoke about the numerous problems facing the country. A huge debt that he says the military junta met upon arrival, and also spoke about the huge salary bill that the junta is trying to pay civil servants. There are civil servants who have not been paid for more than a month right now. And so these are all piling up and adding to the problems in Niger. Remember, Nigeria in the early days of the coup cut off electricity to this country, and the situation remains the same. Niger want that lifted, and along with other sanctions. And also on Monday, they announced that the airspace, which is just beside the military base behind me, has been reopened to international flights, but special flights, military flights and other operational flights need special permission for them to fly over Niger's airspace.
Okay, thank you so much for that update. That is Ahmed Idris for us in Niger. Well, let's talk to Nicolas Normand. He is the former French ambassador to Mali and Senegal and joins us live from Paris. Thank you very much for joining us on Al Jazeera, Mr. Ambassador. First of all, can you confirm that there are talks currently between the French government and the Niger military for the French to pull out of the country?
Yes, I can confirm that there are talks underway between the French military on the spot and the Nigerian military in order to withdraw at least partly, not maybe the full army which is there, 1,500 military, but there are talks underway. The French government says it's not a way of recognition of the junta, of the putsch leaders, because it's a discussion between military. It's a technical discussion, and they also explain that the French military cannot stand still there, motionless, with nothing to do, because they have stopped any cooperation in the fighting against terrorism. So they are useless, so they should pull out from Niger soon.
What stage are...
It's not a way to obey or to comply with an order, you know.
Okay, well, what stage are these talks at, though? And is it likely to be a long, drawn-out process, or could we see some of those troops be starting to move out of the country quite soon?
Yes, they should move out of the country quite soon, probably to go to Chad, where there is still a military basis, a French one, or to Paris or France directly. But anyway, there is no more cooperation possible with the junta, so the French army has to pull out.
What's going to happen to France's Sahel operations, and do you think that that is going to spook the United States?
Well, the Americans are in a different position, so I guess they will have to withdraw as well, but not for the time being. So far, you know, they have not even recognized that there is a coup. They say it's a tentative coup, an effort to disrupt the constitution or to seize power. But they do not fully acknowledge a coup. But once they have acknowledged that there is really a coup, they will have to withdraw legally. They will be bound to withdraw.
What sort of vacuum, though, with the French troops leaving, is going to be left in their wake?
Well, the French are there only at the request of the governments. We do not recognize the new government in Niamey, in Niger, so we were more or less expelled from Burkina Faso and Mali before. But we are not there to stay. We are there to assist, to help, not to dominate, you know. So if a government is not pleased with the French cooperation, we will have to leave anyway.
If French troops do begin leaving...
Even if it means a violation of the security.
Right.
The problem is the consequences. It's a bit suicidal for those countries to expel Western forces who are there only to help them. Because we have seen already in Mali and in Burkina a security deterioration, more activity from the terrorist groups. So that is going to occur also in Niger.
When or if these French troops and ambassador does in fact leave the country, I mean, the military leaders there are going to call this a huge win for them and are basically going to say that France, I guess, kneeled down to their request for them to remove themselves from their country. What do you say to that?
Well, I say the ambassador stays because he is formally expelled. So if he would leave now, it would be a way of recognition the new coup leader as the president. So the French president has decided to keep the French ambassador there. But finally, we'll have to withdraw as well, but not for the time being, not under such a pressure.
Up until this point, it seems like Paris and the French have been defiant and wanting to stay in the country. What's changed? What was the tipping point?
Well, the French have no special interest in Niger. They were there only to assist the government against the jihadists, the Islamic insurgency. So we were happy to do that. But we cannot do it if we do not cooperate normally with the new government.
Okay, thank you so much. We really do appreciate your time. That is Nicolas Normand, the former French ambassador to Mali and Senegal. Thank you very much for being on Al Jazeera.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell button. Leave a comment to continue conversation. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to slam the subscribe button. See you in our next video.